Hi, everyone. Good day. This is Lisa Adams, and I'm an AI advisor and fractional CMO. And I am based in Boulder, Colorado. Excited to share with you some insights on how to use AI for strategic business impact. Going from exploration to integration. Given the short amount of time, I'm going to get right to it. So just in case I run out of time at the end, I wanted to share with you a couple of links. One is to my LinkedIn profile if you want to follow me. And I generally share a lot of content and insights almost on a daily basis. So feel free to take that QR code. And I also have a QR code here for this particular presentation. So you're more than happy to use any of these insights and tips and practical guidelines in your own world. And I always welcome the feedback as I make these things better for all of you. We're all on this AI learning journey together. And I'm so grateful for all of the feedback and insights that I get from many of the audiences and marketers and go-to-market leaders that I work with. So if we think about the world of AI nowadays, generally what I still see is that people have not been pushing AI to its full potential. There's a lot of use cases in content creation today, which is awesome. We're able to achieve better results, better content, more relevant content, insight-driven content, and then it's improving our productivity in that area. However, I do believe that we can push this a lot more to gain the full potential out of AI. And as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. And McKinsey has this stat that says that using AI in sales and marketing could add anywhere from 1.4 to 2.6 trillion dollars of added business value. And I contend we cannot blog post our way to 2.6 trillion dollars. The other areas where we can use AI are, one of the more favorite use cases that I love for AI is around collaboration and ideation, using it as a thought partner. And you may not even just use one as a thought partner. You might use 2 or 3 AI assistants to collaborate with you. And I'll talk about some of these use cases later on. Use it for automation to improve our productivity, to ensure that we're able to spend more of our time in more strategic initiatives, more strategic and more creative and planful types of work versus things that can be automated. Using it for data analysis and research. I love that because we could get a lot of really insightful key takeaways and use that for making decisions and making strategic initiatives. And then last but not least, around the area of personalization. This is going to boom in the era of AI because we now have so much data that we can analyze and we can deeply understand our target customers and our prospects as we move forward. All these things, keep in mind that we have to use them leveraging responsible and ethical principles with AI. There's also this perception that AI is largely for improving productivity. And we now have studies. We now have, and as an example, the Harvard Business School did a study with some BCG consultants. Half of them used AI, half of them did not. Those that used AI were able to complete 12.2% more tasks, 25% faster. So that's where we get the efficiency gain. But the kicker here is that they were able to improve quality by up to 40%. So this is not just a productivity gain. It is certainly more of an effectiveness gain as well. So I want to encourage people to think beyond productivity and think beyond just simple content creation of creating blogs and summarizing emails or summarizing long articles when we think about the responsible use of AI. And when I think about our accelerating the adoption of AI, I think about it in 3 steps. So I've crafted here a framework that I'm using with a number of my clients today. And first and foremost, we have to inspire what's possible. And when we think about inspiring what's possible with AI, I don't think about specific AI capabilities like image generation or analytics or prompting. I think about showing real life use cases in the function or in the role that the person is in. Because when we see ourselves in that use case, it inspires a lot of possibilities. We have the motivation to use it, not just in our daily life, but in our work. And then hopefully it expands our thinking beyond that particular use case. And then we start infusing it in our daily activities and our daily tasks. So I'm a big proponent around using real life use cases for a specific role. It's kind of like, I'm a big fan of home improvement shows. And then when I see a dilapidated home, I can't see what's possible, right? Somebody has to show me a vision for what might happen or what it might look like once it's renovated. Same thing in the world of AI. Given that there are no instructions for what to build, nor best practices, we're all learning together. It's great to show our teams these real life use cases. The second thing is around developing a strategic plan, and I'll talk about this a little bit more. Being able to tie jobs to be done and some of these use cases to key strategies in the business, because we have a better shot at ensuring that it gets adopted when something is associated with a strategic initiative. And then last but not least, thinking about how to scale this over time. And that scaling requires deep knowledge and implementation of AI operations. And I have a slide that goes more specifically into what that means. All this needs to be kept in mind with the creation of a cross-functional AI council. And an AI council is awesome because you get very diverse perspectives, very diverse opinions and workflows and thinking around how do we use AI, and ultimately, how do we use it responsibly with ethical guidelines for various use cases, for various workflows, as well as the processes and the tools that we need to implement over time. So let's go through the steps. The first step is to inspire what's possible. And here are just a subset of the things that, some sample use cases for the different areas of marketing. In this particular case, I'm just showing you marketing. There's a sales set of use cases, customer success, so on and so forth, along the go-to-market engine. But like I said, this is just a sample. This list is enormous. And every day, my teams and I continue to create new use cases. We continue to push the possibilities around how we can further use AI. And you can see the various use cases for the different functions in marketing, as well as cross-functionally that applies across the different functions in marketing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we inspire what's possible, right? And I'm going to show you one use case. And obviously, there's going to be so much more, but I want to show you what I mean by inspiring what's possible. So I'm going to show you how we can use AI. So this is an applied AI use case to do analytics and derive some insights to drive some decision making in the business. And in this case, it can be used for the marketing function and or the sales function, and potentially even for the executive team as they make strategic decisions. All right. Shen, it's super small on my screen. Is there a way for me to see this larger? There you go. I'm looking at it and I can barely read it, but I'm going to try my very best. So in this case, we're using publicly available customer reviews from Capterra. And I'm just using Asana project management software as an example. So I'm showing you here the prompt. You're an exceptional B2B marketer for project management SaaS solutions. You want to see what potential customers might uncover as they research and evaluate various project management solutions. You are starting with evaluating Asana's customer reviews on Capterra. The attached PDF includes reviews from 2023 to now of users and companies of 50 to 1,000 employees. These users use Asana daily for 6 or more months. Please summarize and provide unique insights based on these reviews that will be of interest to prospects with a similar profile. Please provide a balanced point of view. offering pros and cons. Also infer the ideal profile, customer profile, based on the reviews. Do you have any questions before we start? So you can see here, right, based on publicly available data, ChatGPT in this particular case, you could use, Gemini or Claude or Perplexity to do this as well. But you could see how it began analyzing that PDF with all those customer reviews. Those customer reviews are easily downloadable from Capterra. It showed the positive aspects, the negative aspects, the ideal customer profile based on its inference on what those customer reviews are saying, and then final recommendations to potential prospects and customers. So as a company, so in this case, Asana, we should be looking at this going, are we being presented in the right light? Is our positioning, is our perception consistent with our positioning? And then take a look at the recommendations, because that basically tells us as marketers and as salespeople how we're being presented to our potential customers. The next thing here is I prompted it by saying, great start. Based on the reviews, please provide 2 word clouds, one for pros, one for cons. For Asana, please make sure that you use actual words that the reviewers are using. Do not paraphrase or make up words. And that's super important, because in the AI world, natural language is going to be super critical. Customers don't talk like some of us marketers talk, right? We do a lot of ities and ables, scalability, flexibility, seamless integration. We want to make sure that we understand and have full visibility into the natural language that our customers are using. And then the next, so you see the word clouds there. And then the next thing here, it says, please review the PDF again and summarize the following in a table. What did they switch from? What are the reasons for switching? And then what were the alternatives being considered as part of their process? So here in the table, you can see where the customers came from, why they switched, and then ultimately what other solutions they considered beyond Asana. So very insightful key takeaways for us marketers and salespeople. And then the next thing here, what I said was, based on these reviews, please infer natural language, top of the funnel, mid funnel, and bottom of the funnel inquiries that project management SaaS prospects might ask. Also include the rationale for the suggestions at each stage. Please put this in a table. So here we can definitely see now, what types of questions these customers will be asking throughout the buyer's journey. And with those questions, as marketers and as salespeople, we need to prepare ourselves for answering those questions. It also helps us in content creation and developing the content that might be served up to answer questions into AI models, or when they're using Perplexity or ChatGPT or Gemini. When we write content in the language that the customer uses, our content cannot be ignored by these AI search engines, because it is directly answering those customer questions. So that's also just a pro tip in content creation to ensure that our content gets served up by the large language models. And then last but not least, I say, given the reviews, please create a table of value propositions that Asana should consider that reflect the old way of doing things, the new way with Asana, and then the value props that Asana might consider to quantify. So again, for sales and marketing folks, this is golden for us, right? Because now in our content creation or in the way that we talk to our customers, we can share with them, we can empathize by sharing with them, hey, we understand how you were doing this before. Here's the old way, right? Here's the new way of doing things using Asana. And here's some quantifiable value propositions that we have based on our existing customers or some of our case studies. So AI, as you can see, guided us into getting some insights, making some strategic decisions about our positioning and messaging, and then ultimately helping us with execution in how this lands in market. All right, so that's what I mean by inspiring what's possible. So there are so many use cases like that. We could do it by function and marketing. And then the next step, once we inspire people by what's possible, we need to develop a plan, because we can't just let them loose and go, go hog wild and use this thing. Although there's some benefit in helping people just get started, we need to ensure that we will actually use this on an ongoing basis and do it responsibly. In my opinion, the learning journey in AI is less about the technology nor the process. The harder part is the people. It's change management. And we know how difficult change management is. So one of the key things is to develop an AI strategic plan where we take some of these top use cases, maybe map them to jobs to be done. And then what we need to do is map them to specific initiatives in marketing or in the business. The reason I'm suggesting that is once something is mapped to an initiative, we have a higher probability of that getting done. Why? It has goals. It has the eyes of executives all the way to the board. It has budget. It has an owner, KPIs. It has impact goals, and it has tools and resources associated with it. So when we do that, like I said, we have a higher probability of driving adoption. And what I've shared here with you, I know it's super small, but if you download this presentation, I've given you a template here where you can essentially do the mapping, assign the owners the budget, and apply a prioritization for each one of these use cases across the different types of use case categories of content creation, collaboration, automation, data analytics and research, as well as personalization. So I think it's just a really good guideline for how to move forward, and also a good alignment point for the rest of the business. And then the next slide here just kind of shows you a sample of mapping of use cases to strategic initiative at a very high level. So this particular company had these 3 strategic initiatives. And then what we did is we mapped those use cases, those strategic initiatives, and then ultimately came up with a strategic plan for AI that includes how do we get to the results and the impact, what processes and tools do we need to put in place, and then how do we ensure that people are engaging, are being upskilled and cross-skilled, and then ensuring a cultural shift across the business. So this is not easy work. This is super hard work, especially on the people and the culture aspect of this. And then the last step of this process is around a phased execution with AI operations. So like I said, we can inspire, we can attach it to strategy, we can have a really good strategy, but there's so much work that needs to be done that's foundational, like ethics, responsible use. Data strategy. We don't want everybody and their dog having to clean the data, structure the data, putting it in the right format to so that the AI models can ingest these data points. Somebody or a group of people needs to think about these things. So AI operations is going to be a fairly significant function moving forward, and the types of things that I talked about needs to be laid out from the exploration phase to the pilot phase, and then ultimately as we expand and integrate more fully throughout the business. And that is all I have. And this are those QR codes again, just in case you did not catch it at the beginning of the presentation. And I hope you have a great day. If you want to reach out to me and collaborate, please feel free to DM me on LinkedIn, or my email is lisa@growthpath.net. Have a great day.